It is love 30, the sixth game of the first set. Miss Goolagong leads 5 games to none. Second serve by Miss Gilchrist. One of the few good shots she's had today. It is now 15-30. The sixth game of the first set. Another fine shot by Gilchrist. 30 all. Second serve. Double fault. Match point.
30-40.
Make that set point. It was a let serve. So Evonne Goolagong wins the first set, 6 games to love. Miss Goolagong leads 8 games to 7, 40 love. That is the set and the match. Evonne Goolagong wins it in split sets over Wendy Gilchrist.
Well, that's always been my problem ever since I broke into the game, and just trying to get, my rhythm down and find the groove, and once I get in the groove, I'll be all right.
Have things gone well for you so far? It's a little early, I'm sure.
Well, so far in batting practice, I've been real pleased with my control. I've thrown a lot of strikes, and I've had a lot of help, and so far it seems like maybe this might be the year.
What, in your mind, would be a realistic finish for this ball club?
Well, it's really hard to tell without seeing the other clubs because it varies from year to year. I mean, they're strong. All the clubs in the American League are usually pretty strong. But with the youth we have and everything, and I don't know, I'd say that a good finish for this ball club would probably be third.
Isn't it unusual to have a club with this many positions up for grabs? Gosh, you look around and almost every spot's wide open.
Yeah, usually when you come to spring training, your ball club's pretty well picked because you've got a lot of guys that have a lot of experience, and they've worked at that position for a number of years, but this year we don't have the old guys like we normally do. So consequently, you have all these positions open, and you have a lot of guys that are really trying hard to do well, so they can wrap that spot up for the season.
And the winners, in the first round, a technical knockout, James Martinez in the gold corner of Dallas.
3.5 miles of roadway isn't all that much, but in a city the size of Duncanville, they want to get in on some of that growth that's been enjoyed by Garland, Richardson, Irving, and now they have the opportunity to do that. This section of road, called Wintergreen Road, will run from Highway 67 and bisect the city east and west. It'll go right through the center of Duncanville. And Gus Alexander, the director of the Chamber of Commerce in this city, says that it means they're going to get to see some of that phenomenal growth that's been enjoyed by other suburban cities in Dallas County. They went from 3,500 to 14,000 from 1950 to 1972. They want to double that. They want 350% or more in their growth in this city. They want more money in. They want to be able to make this rural area become the great suburb of Dallas that we've seen happen in Irving, Garland, and some of the other cities. Dallas County Judge Lou Sterrett and County Commissioner Roy Orr, whose district in which this roadway has been built, as well as Gus Alexander of the Chamber of Commerce, took off in one of the first helicopters to view the roadway from the air. As you can see, it is a very impressive stretch of road. It runs 6 lanes all the way through to the Highway 67 intersection. Here at the intersection of Highway 67, you get a view of what it's really going to be like. How, in fact, this is going to open up the city of Duncanville to that growth that we talked about earlier. This is Malcolm Landis in Duncanville for Channel 8 News on the Move.
Pet lovers wouldn't think of going on a trip without taking their animals, and rancher Don Height is no exception. He was in for a brief visit today with some old Dallas friends and brought along his 17-year-old 2,000-pound house pet, named appropriately enough Buffalo Bill. I interrupted the two as they were catching up on a little Dallas television.
Well, I say 25's not bad. But 30's even better. Warmer, richer. Honey, you're not getting older. You're getting better.
I want that color television, do you?
Don, do you always travel with your house pets like Buffalo Bill?
Yeah, everybody should have a pet. And they should have a buffalo pet.
How hard was he for you to train?
That's quite a chore. They're a big wild animal, and beside that, they're a pretty stubborn animal. They're pretty hard to train.
What kind of handicaps did you have in training him?
Just couldn't spare enough time to be with him as much as you should. You'd leave him go for a few days, and then you'd have to start all over again.
What can you make him do? Does he just listen to your command? Does he actually watch television with you?
Oh, we've had him in the house before. He likes it in here where it's cool and nice.
Are you ever afraid that he might turn wild again?
No, not now. I was for a long time, but he's over the hump now for being tame. He'll stay that way the rest of his life.
Is he housebroken?
Pretty well. Very seldom ever have a mistake.
How does he let you know when he's inside?
Yeah, he'll get up and head for the door, and you better have the door open.
How are you going to keep him down on the farm after they've seen TV? This is Donna Witkowski for Channel 8 News on the Move.
Now, could you explain again why you're doing this, Smokey?
Well, as I told you before, there's some hanky-panky stuff going on, and it's one of my old foes, former assistant district attorney, that's taken a part in it, and I don't want any part.
How is this former assistant district attorney taking a part in this?
Well, he's turned out to be a bondsman in the last 30, 40 minutes since I talked to you, and this thing came in effect while I was talking to you over the telephone.
Is he trying to usurp your position as Mr. McKee's bondsman?
I think so. I don't want to get involved with the sick.
Yes, I just wondered now if you could tell me what's going to happen to John McKee now as far as his bond goes.
They'll issue these 2 warrants for his arrest, and the other warrant, which the bond is here for $5,000. They'll issue these 3 warrants for his arrest. He'll be placed in the county jail. Then this running bondsman can make his bond.
Do you feel like that John McKee has indeed had a nervous breakdown, or it's merely an excuse not to show up?
I don't know, but it gives you a reason to wonder, doesn't it?
Do you feel like you've been double-crossed?
Well, would you feel like you'd been double-crossed if you'd waited for several hours and no one showed up after making an agreement with you? I didn't ask him, they asked me.
You know, you mentioned something to me over the phone that you said that John McKee said he was going to squeal, perhaps, on someone.
Like a pig hung under a gate.
You know who that someone might be?
I think it's about 110 miles from here.
First serve, wide to the left. Into the net. Chris Evert wins the first set, 6 games to 2. (40-30). Into the net. Chris Evert wins her first match of the Maureen Connolly Brinker International Ladies Tennis Tournament. 6-2, 6-1.
No, it's not a new stand with me. I've been saying it whenever asked the question. You know, it seems to me that we've got the Bar Association has looked at this, made this recommendation. The Texas Council of Churches has made this recommendation. The Presidential Commission has the only way in which these various recommendations differ is to how far we should go toward removal of all criminal penalties. I don't think we have the necessary medical information at hand about the effects of long-term chronic use of marijuana to go all the way toward complete legalization. Research is being done. The results will be available in a couple of years. But now we have a system in this state that imposes penalties that society as a whole just doesn't support.
We believe that Bromberg and Foster deserve to be reelected to the board, not only because of knowledge and experience, but because they have demonstrated openness and sensitivity to the needs and problems of all the children of the community. Secondly, in the course of the campaign, we do hope to mobilize the leadership which is latent in the community and which we feel certain will rise to the challenge of public school education in the years ahead. Thank you.
Mr. Bromberg, what do you intend to accomplish in this term that you didn't in the last term?
Probably a continuation of the goals that were set in 1969. The spring of that year, the school board met and set goals for the 70s, and each year we continue with those goals. We expand on them. Possibly we will expand a little quicker in our education of the early childhood education, and possibly expand the kindergarten program a little more quickly than was anticipated earlier.